All right, hello everybody. This is Shayne Snavely with Veterans for America First, Veterans for Trump. I'm here with a super person that we're looking to endorse, Patty Hamilton. She spent 30 years in the Army, has such an impressive career. I'm even just amazed to even be before her to even get a chance to talk to her and endorse her. I mean the pedigree here of what she's done and what she's accomplished is only what most people could even dream for, and it's just unbelievable to me. And we should all be happy to have a person like her to run. And with Veterans for America First, and one of my goals and my stated missions is to recruit people like her to run for office, whether it's local or state or federal. Support them, help them run their campaigns if they need, help them get support, help them get funding, and follow them all the way through. Even a person that starts at a local level, and we help them get elected there, support them, and get veterans. And I'm also big about it's not just veterans. I'm big about police and law enforcement and federal law enforcement, as we know now, with a big problem with being beat on, spit on, and everything else, and first responders. These people are the ones that are the true, they give their lives to our country and to their communities. And we need more of those to step up and run for office. So I'm here, and Veterans for America First is here to support them in every way we can. I want her to talk a little bit about her career, which is just, I mean, she's not even going to get in, shouldn't have time to read all the things she's accomplished in her education and the things she's done in the military. But I'll get her to say a little bit about that, talk about her campaign, her platform, what she wants to do if she gets elected. She's running for District 12 State House in Ohio. And with that, Patty, go ahead and tell us a little about yourself and what you want to do.
Well, my name is Patty Hamilton, and I'm running to replace Brian Stewart in the Ohio House of Representatives race in the upcoming Republican primary, which will take place on May 5th, 2026. And it includes Madison County, Pickaway County, and the western part of Franklin. I'm running because Republicans control the governor's mansion, the state house, the Senate, and even the Supreme Court. But too many elected officials decide that they need to listen to special interests and not to what the taxpayers want. And we need to get back to listening to the people. We have a problem in this state. We have people that think it's their seat and it's the people's seat. And we need to have somebody who realizes who's the boss. So that's why my big reason why I'm running. Just a little bit about my background. I'm a 4C Republican. I'm a conservative, a constitutionalist, a Christian, and I carry. I defend myself, my family, and the Second Amendment rights. I will ensure that legislation that is presented and passed does not infringe on those rights. And I will serve the state of Ohio with making sure that this legislation meets the needs of my district because the people matter. I served our country in the United States military in the Army as a military policewoman for 30 years. I rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel, and my highest award is the Legion of Merit. I served 2 tours in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan and received a Bronze Star. I also served a year at the Pentagon and 2 years as a battalion commander of a military police unit. I had many civilian jobs traveling the country with my active duty husband. I was a school teacher in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I did tax preparation, office management, and I served at the VA Medical Center as a clinic manager, as a patient advocate. And currently, I manage rental properties with my husband, and I'm very active in our community, making sure that everybody's rights and support those rights of citizens. Some of the big issues that I have on my agenda is that I want to abolish property taxes in Ohio because there are 500,000 people that are delinquent on their property taxes right now. And those 500,000 people, all it takes is 3 payments, and they could be homeless. And we really don't want to have homeless people because they've paid probably 3 times for their house. Also in Ohio, a big thing is that industrial solar projects. I refuse to call them solar farms because they're not farms at all. They destroy the farmland, they're ugly, and they produce very small energy for the size that they have. I'm an active member in this. I have spoke out against the Ohio Power Siting Board and opposing solar. I stand to make sure that Brian Stewart knows that he brought the industrial solar to Pickaway County, and he was very proud of that. He said that we had so much clear land to do that. And unfortunately, he was promised $1.75 million a year in assessments to go back to the schools and to the townships. And he has not produced that. That was back in 2020. It's almost 6 years later, and he still hasn't gotten that. Yes, he did get 6 million for the county commissioners general fund, but they never shared any of that with the community. I want to change that. We need to make sure that the people are taken care of, not just put in a general fund to use wherever they see fit, but really to apply it to them. The other thing is that he has special interests in mind, and those special interests, one specifically is that the 600 million that he gave to a billionaire. He proposed a bill for the Cleveland Browns Stadium to give to the Haslams. Well, it's funny that Mr. Haslam gave 60,000 to the Speaker of the House in his pact, Huffman for Ohio, and somehow Brian Stewart got over $15,000 from the Huffman PAC. Well, it sure looks like a straight line to Brian Stewart getting the money from special interest. Let's stop this special interest. Let's get back to helping people with the economy, making sure that inflation is lowered, energy prices are lowered. Let's make sure that foreign nations aren't buying up our farmland and around our military installations like Wright-Patterson. We need to have more economic development without tax abatements so that the people can actually have jobs and our schools can thrive on this income that we are all producing together. I thank you. My name again is Patty Hamilton, and I am asking for your vote. Thank you.
Well, Patty, we talked, this is something that a lot of people will maybe find hard to believe, but one of my things, another part of my platform of working with Veterans for America First and endorsements and recruiting good people to run. Patty and I have talked for 3.5 hours before we did this interview. So I learned a lot more about her than most people would. She believes that the seat is the people's seat. She believes that she should be beholden to the people, not an establishment person. And she, as I do, I ran for state senate in Virginia last year. I've worked for 2 state senators. I've been around the country with election integrity. I've done a lot of things, worked campaigns, congressional races, governor's races, executive protection for politicians. In talking to her for the 3.5 hours, I'm finding like this is the kind of people that we need to find, recruit, and endorse, and help them get elected. We need our law enforcement, our veteran community to heavily get behind somebody like her. I mean, she didn't talk about all of her other medals. She didn't talk about her master's degree. She didn't talk about many other things she's done in the Iraq War and different things that normally. I found out she's very humble, very humble. And the thing about her that stuck with me is I've always believed that any seat is the people's seat. It's not the person's seat, and it's not the incumbent's seat. And I always find that a lot of incumbents, how dare you even primary me or challenge me? Well, Patty's talking about going around doing town halls throughout the year. She's talking about when finding out what people need in the district that she serves, and not being held to special interest for sure. She's just told you that. But she's also talking about her legislation. When she puts legislation in, she wants that legislation to be actually work for the people of her district and for the people on the ground and on the streets of her district, not state issues per se, not worry about federal things, not worry about bills that she can never get passed while she's wasting bills to speak to the base or to speak to special interests. She wants to put in bills that throughout the year she's heard people talk about needs to be done in her district. Phenomenal woman. Can't say enough. The time I've spent with her, I consider her a friend now. I'm going to help her all I can with the race and pull everything that I can to help her. And everybody knows that my platform is to actually find, recruit, and endorse and help these type of good veterans and any good candidate win, but especially veterans and law enforcement and first responders. But also to follow them through, whether it's a local race, a state house race, or whatever, and actually help them as they grow in politics. And if they wanted to seek higher office, then we all have a relationship and we have a base of veterans around the country that we can step up, we can support and fund that normal veterans and what we would say people that don't have a chance against an incumbent with hundreds of thousands of dollars to compete. We want to be able to get these good people that want to step up and continue to serve their country and do the right for the people that believe it's the people's seat. We want to support them and fund them and build a organization to where we're powerful. When we go to any state house for any yearly session, we bring a power of law enforcement and veterans and uh, tons of supporters, and we actually demand change. We demand that our legislators do a better job. And she's the kind of person that we want. And please look at her and support her. This is going to be a midterm race, so she doesn't need a whole lot of votes to beat this incumbent that I feel from all the investigations, opposition research I've done, should be replaced. She 16,687 votes in the last primary. She actually ran against this incumbent the last time with 17,000 to his over $200,000. She got 42% of the vote. And with little money and starting from nothing in grassroots, this time I feel that her grassroots carrying through and everything else she's going to do, and you supporting her, I think she's going to just take this race. It's off your race as far as a midterm. 7,000 8,000 votes will probably win. She brings the base that she had during the last election, and more of you come out and your veterans get behind her and you start funding her and supporting her, even if it's $10. 1,000 people giving $10 is a lot of money to run a campaign, especially when grassroots. I please implore you to look at her, whether you're around the country or in her local district, support her and help her. And I'd just like to just say a little bit more. I know you're so humble, but I'd just like to say a little bit more about what you really want to do when you get elected. Now, I say when you get elected.
Yeah, I mean, the really big thing to me is that I went around knocking doors and talking to people, and they didn't even know who their state representative was, and it's kind of sad to see that because I'm one of those people that, to me, you become my family. And I think that's really where the disconnect is that we work for you. Um, when I get elected, I'll say that like you did. Um, my goal is to make sure that your voice is heard. I want to hear at town halls. I want to make sure that the issues that are at hand that are handled. I won't tell you that it's a state issue, it's a local issue. I can't help you. It's not a state issue. I won't do that to you. I will still help with where those issues are. That is very important to me. I think that the one thing that is really critical is when you have big businesses like Andrel come to our county, for example, and they establish a corporation there, and then they give them tax abatements, and they, yeah, they're going to help the schools and everything. But the one problem is what about that education? What about that STEM education that we could use? We could actually have STEM education that makes a pathway from high school graduation into a career with making the drones in those plants. That would be great. That would be a huge stepping stone for so many people. And making sure that when we develop contracts, if we're going to give something so precious as our tax dollars to corporations, that they guarantee that they hire Ohioans, not bring people from California, New York, or wherever they may be from into our state to take those jobs. We don't want that. We want Ohioans to have those jobs. And I truly believe that a vote for me is going to be a vote for you because I will listen. I will do what you want done, and I will make sure that when I leave the state house, it will be better for the people versus for myself. I will not enrich myself. I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I love our community and I want it to be even better than it is.
Well,
Thank you.
like I said before, I feel privileged to even have the chance to even spend the time to talk to you with your accomplishments, and I look forward to watching you and helping you and actually rallying veterans and your everyday citizens that should vote for you, should want change. And another thing we talked about that I truly believe wholeheartedly in is an incumbent, sometimes they act like, well, if you run a campaign against them and you primary challenge them, how dare you do that? Well, like I said, it's the people's seat, and shouldn't the people have a choice? And if an incumbent's doing a good job, hey, keep voting them in. But if they're not doing a good job, they're not doing what you think they're going to do, they're not coming around doing town halls, they're not actually getting things done for you and your community that you think you need done, then give the other person a chance. There's nothing wrong with that. And this notion that an incumbent shouldn't be challenged by another Republican incumbent or Democratic alike. That to me is elitism. To me is establishment talk. And what I'm going to do, and what Veterans for America First is going to do, is we're going to go around, we're going to find people like you, we're going to help them get elected, and we're going to change the way this thing works. And I really appreciate the time talking to you, the time I've been spending with you, and I look forward to a lot more conversations.
And I thank you so much for endorsing me, and I appreciate all of your support and the education that you have given me because I know your expertise is very valuable. You've said a lot of stuff that I've never really thought about because, you don't, if you're not a politician, you don't know these things. You just get out there and you do what you think is right, and that's talking to people and letting them know why you want to run. Sometimes it isn't quite the right way to do it. So I thank you so much for your time and your assistance. It's been very valuable.
Well, thank you. And that's, I'm sort of considered a rebel, and I got lucky. I did a lot of things right, and in a lot of the challenges and the calling out I've done, even to my own party and my establishment. And so many people behind the scenes say, you're right, but we just can't say it. And that's why I'm looking forward to helping people like you and new candidates, new people that have not run before, because there's little things you can do to really just take out these incumbents, because they think they just own the thing. And a new candidate that's never been in politics, they're at a big disadvantage, whether it's fundraising, whether it's support, whether it's campaign stuff. The person that thinks outside the box is not willing, not worried about challenging the establishment, even their own party, is somebody that I feel, can give a lot of help to new candidates. And that's one of the reasons I'm so glad myself that Veterans for America First has given me this opportunity. And I'm just looking forward to us building a family of veterans across this country. And we start placing people like you, and we take control, and we have the power. And I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.